Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I know it's been a little bit. I haven't made a video in a little while. I haven't made any guides in a little while. Honestly, this year I'm just a little bit burnt out on Everquest. The Oakland TLP server to me was disappointing. I don't want to play on it. I don't think it's fun or interesting. Some of the perks that it gets later, I think they need to push those sooner for me personally to be interested. But right now, I just don't want to play on like a boring classic server. We've done that plenty of times already. So that's just kind of where I stand. And, you know, it's no bash against anyone who does want to play on the server. But, you know, you can do whatever you want. Just me personally, I don't think it's fun. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I did see that there was a new update in the Everquest producers letter for July. Kind of like their midterm review type thing where they're just like, hey, we did this in the first half of the year. And for those of you who don't know, they actually provided a 2023 blueprint for what they were going to do for this whole year in the beginning of the year. So now it's kind of like we're halfway through. So I'm going to go over theirs real briefly, and then I have my own version, which I think is more relevant to players. This update here is kind of lackluster. Now, don't get me wrong, I like that they're coming out with these producer letters, but they're not really, there's no content in these things. There's not a whole lot of substance here. So let's just go over real quickly what they said. They said in April, they're doing a fundraising thing. It's like, okay, that's not related to the game directly or anything. So really no content to be mentioned here. In May, they have new content for Tempest Festival. I've mentioned this before, like this is not really newsworthy. This is just kind of like some holiday events they have in the game. In May, they said they released the new UI engine. Yeah, it got released all right, and it's still broken. As far as I know, it's still not fixed. They're kind of working on parts of it, but I'm honestly floored that they would come out with a half-broken UI system for something that's brand new. Like, if it doesn't work, don't release it. Don't, because you really only have one chance in a way to impress people on a new system. Like, if I came out with a guide and it was just like half complete, or it was like a whole bunch of stuff in it wrong, guess what would happen? People would stop using my website. So I think in general, this is really bad PR for them. I don't know why they're keep saying that, you know, this is like a good milestone for them. Sorry, I clicked on the link there. And it's just not, it doesn't work. They need to not come out with any more new UI elements until it's fixed. Now, I guess there's some tool you can use to do things, but let's be real, the honest player is not going to use some type of like tool. You got to go in there and figure it out and all this. You should be able to just log in and the UI works and it looks good. So I don't know like what timetable they're on to move the rest of this over, or what's really going on here, if they're just going to put it on hold until they figure it out. I did look at some of the patch notes coming up in July. Or no, was it July? I thought I saw somewhere, maybe it was on the bug forums or something, that they do have some of the minor issues figured out, but I don't think they have like this figured out as a whole at all. There's a lot of different issues with this UI, so this is not really a worthy milestone to me. But anyways, more on that later. They have the new evolving rule set, Oakland, that came out. Okay. June, new Pride Month familiars, literally nobody cares. Hardcore Heritage, that's something they just do every year. New raid banner, I do think that's kind of neat. I don't play on live. I'll get into the raid banner a little bit more on my side of things. I don't know all the little details of it, but it sounds like they're going to make raids a little bit easier for everybody with like this new raid banner system. So I mean, that's good. I do worry about bloat in the game though, like I said before, adding too many systems, but maybe this is one that's actually worth adding. We'll have to wait and see. And then Closet Vision is going to be free for everybody. That's really good news. So that's pretty much everything up until June. And then also, let's see here, they're going to merge CoreNav to Vox coming in July. And they have a new Scorched Sky event with bonuses and bags. I have no idea, who cares? I don't know what that is. A new quest and mission implemented for Stone Cold Summer. Again, this to me, this is not newsworthy. It's such a small part of the game. It doesn't really change anything. And then September, this is actually the big one for the year. If they can do this successfully, this will be awesome for Everquest. I really hope that they do this well and there's no bugs or hiccups. Now, I do know we moved over to the 64-bit client, I believe it was last year, and that seemed to work out pretty good. They did a good job on that. So I hope they can get this DirectX 11 thing working. That will allow them to do more stuff with the game. And then some of this other stuff, it's just like, this is a bunch of nothing basically here. So, and here's your girl, Jen Chan herself. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna go over like a more practical stuff, checklist of stuff that they did this year. And we're gonna discuss like what, maybe I'll give the Everquest team a grade on what I think their overall direction is for this year. I don't want to criticize individual devs because I don't think that's cool. I wouldn't want somebody criticizing me individually within a company from outside where that person doesn't really know what's going on inside. But I do want to grade them overall on, I think, the direction that they're going with the game for this year. I think that's kind of fair as a player. All right, so we have your favorite types of layouts here. We have a PowerPoint I made. I went over, what I really did is I went over all the patch notes this year and the news articles starting in January. And I took out the stuff out of the patch notes that I thought were changes in directions of the game or stuff that improves like quality of life. Really, out of all the patch notes in January, I did see a note that they added more achievements to from when you purchase more AAs. It's not the achievement part I have a problem with in this. Like, it's fine, add some more achievements for the AAs, but the AA bloat is really, really, really high. I want to see them consolidate all of the AAs down, and we'll get more. I'll get more detailed on that here in a couple months when we go over one of the months a little bit later than this. Probably 60 to 70% of them, honestly, are just bloat AAs, and they don't really do that much, and they're not fun to grind. February, we have a quality of life improvement. I want to highlight both things I do like and things I don't like, so we're not just being super Karens here all the time crying. They increased the amount of tower keys dropped by Corefax and Tower of Discord raids in Seas of Destruction by an additional 50%. That's a really good change. Anything that they can do to speed the game up, especially with keying processes on like these on these TLPs, you don't want to spend the whole TLP keying up for a raid. Anytime that they can improve key drop rate on the TLPs, I think that's awesome. So this is a really good change here. I like to see more of this across the board. Anything that will speed the game up has my approval. All right, moving on to March. We got a couple different things here. I'm not going to like read all this and bore you. Number one is they did say for this year they wanted to reduce lag overall with the game, and it seems like they're doing some different things to improve that. I personally don't know how much that improves it, how much it doesn't. They have a better idea than I do. But one thing they did do is they improved the Bane Strike ability. This should have been black. I made it white here. Oops, let me go back a page. Sorry about that. So I can barely see it, or hopefully you can read it. Maybe not, but it says, rather than periodically dealing direct damage to your target based on its race, Bane Strike now provides a 247 10% increase to the base power of your beneficial, detrimental spells, songs, and combat abilities, as well as base melee damage. So it seems like they're just trying to take out all these like procs or whatever and just give you like a more base damage buff. This was a good change, so that's really good there that they're doing something like that. Getting back to AA consolidation, I kind of highlighted this one because this kind of covers it. They removed the following AA ranks due to the removal of static cap level requirements, which resulted in these certain ranks of some of the spells that certain classes had. They basically you would get a rank and it wouldn't give you a functional improvement. So they consolidated them all down, and people are mad because they didn't get the AA back that they spent on all these additional ranks. Like, I get it kind of, but let's be real here. Anything that they can do to consolidate AA is a long-term win. And there's no promise that they're never going to change any of the AA at any point, and that they never made any promises to you that they're going to refund the AA either. So if you want to buy it, buy it. If you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. Like, things change. Just be happy that there is a long-term consolidation here going on. I think this is a win. If I personally had bought all those ranks and they consolidated it, I'd be bummed out, but I'm not going to be crying on the forums about it. I'll just be glad that there's less ranks overall. And they really need to redo the AA system. I cannot stress that enough. They need to consolidate all that crap down and make it way more streamlined for the future. Keep the interesting ones. You know, you can have the interesting and the good ones still be expensive, but a lot of those just need to be gutted completely. And if they did that, you would hear no complaints from me. They also added clickies to the Great Divide and Over There stones, so you can get to the newer versions of the zone. So if you click on like the Great Divide stone, for example, you can click to go to either the old Great Divide or the new Great Divide in Torment of Velius. So this is awesome. Like making it easy to get around is really good. Nobody should have to have a new expansion and they're like not sure how to get to the new expansion. Because me as a returning live player, like I don't play on live all the time. I have a max level character, but I'm not like raiding or really doing much group stuff or anything. Sometimes like if a new expansion comes out, I'll buy it late, like way after it's already been released. I don't necessarily know how to get to the new zones other than going through the guild hall and giving the portal guy a little stone. So you usually got to like look that up or something. You can kind of guess sometimes if you're an experienced player, but them adding these to stones, I think this should be done right off the bat for any new expansion that they do. So people know like, okay, we just go here to get to the new expansion. Like you shouldn't have to look and try to figure out how to get to new expansion. So this is a good change here. I hope they keep doing this. All right, moving on to April. We have another quality of life improvement. They updated the NPC resistance checks against elemental weapon damage to fully apply damage if the NPC is not immune to this resist type. So this is really for people who are raiding and there's like, or they have elemental damage on their weapons, where before it didn't work fully and it wasn't as good. Now it's a lot better. So this is a really awesome change here. It's, again, quality of life improvement. It pretty much, they changed it how you would expect a elemental damage on a weapon to work. It's been broken for a really long time now. So this was a positive change from them. Good luck on that one, or good job on that. May, they broke the UI and there's really like no fix on the ETA on this as far as I know. They're kind of like, like I said earlier, they're kind of getting some of the stuff fixed. They're kind of not. It just seems like it'd be a slow process, and I really hope they don't further break the UI before they fix what's currently broken. And maybe in the July patch, they'll have a lot of this fixed. I don't know yet. I looked for the July patch notes. I didn't see them, but hopefully we'll wait and see what happens. And then again, like I said, they released the Oakwind TLP. All right, so June, a lot of stuff actually happened in June. This is the biggest month of the year, really. Number one, this is kind of on the down low. So unless you're like either reading forums or something, a lot of people may not know this, but the community manager, Ascendio, he no longer works at Daybreak. If you click on his username here on the forums, you're going to get this forum error request says this profile is not available. And also they're hiring a new community manager. There's a link here. I don't think I'm going to go to the link, but basically they're hiring one for $70,000 to $80,000 a year. You can go on Daybreak's website and look that up yourself, because a community manager is the face of interacting with the player base. Like if he leaves, people should know. You guys should at least say something. So the fact that they didn't say anything, as far as I know, they didn't. I didn't see anything about it, other than I just happened to see a thread on the forums that someone said like goodbye Ascendio or something like that. But also, two devs appear to be gone too. There's one called named Dezarn, and another one who's named True North. If you click on their profiles on the forums, it says their profiles are deleted too. So I believe they're gone. Dezarn, his profile was created in 2012, and True North has been working there for 2 years, based on when his profile was created. So maybe they've been there longer, but I'm just going by profile creation date on the forum. So this could be off, but if they're down 2 devs and a CM, like I don't know what's going on over there, but they're short on devs in general, and to lose 2 more, that sucks. That's not something I like to see as a player. So I'm just passing the message along to you guys so you can kind of see what's going on there behind the scenes. Maybe you want to do some research on your own. They're also hiring a new customer service rep as a temporary job. It's paying $15 to $16 an hour. So I don't know if that's like a GM or what. I assume it's just like a GM. And so they do have a job for that open as a temp. And they're also hiring an executive producer right now for $150K to $200K per year. So I don't know what games that's for. If that's for Jen Chan, if she's technically executive producer now, I think. but I don't know what that's for, but they're hiring one, at least according to their website. June continued. Closet Vision is going to be free. That's very good. I have these numbers a little bit messed up, but here we have superior standards are going to be available as an option for guild banners. These standards will not only function in the instances of zones within expansions that have been released for at least 6 months. These banners offer enhanced buffs to have an easy option for raids. We will evaluate these buffs and see if they need further adjusting. These will also function on progression servers with a 1-month delay, except for Vaniki. Okay, so they're gonna have easy modes for raids after 6 months, and then easy mode for progression servers after 1 month. I can't remember when banners come out, but whatever. So whenever you get banners, you can do that. You have some easy modes apparently, so we'll see how that goes. I'm not too familiar with this stuff. I remember banners from raiding back in the day, but I haven't raided that kind of content in a long time, so this will be up to live players basically to give feedback on that. They have easier Kunark keys. They increase the drop rate of various Vishan peaks and Sebelis key drops. There will be more keys that drop from other mobs in the zone that the key pieces already currently drop in. Items on the ground have had their spawn times reduced as well. So I wanted to include this because I think anytime they make these keys easier for everybody, that's a plus. Nobody wants to farm these anymore. It's 2023. So really good change here. And again, I want to see them make the game stuff that wastes your time. I want them to take that shit out the game. Swamp Pets Modified. I should say Swarm Pets, not Swamp Pets. So I didn't put all the details in here, but basically they are buffing Swarm Pets, but there's going to be less of them. So I think this is a effort to reduce lag again. So this is something else that they changed. And I read a post on the forums, or a thread on the forums, that this is creating some type of aggro issues, like they're generating too much aggro now. I don't know, but hopefully they'll get that worked out. And lastly, we have, there's a new merchant in the over there, or not a new merchant, but I think it's a current merchant, and they made it a parcel vendor. So you can parse stuff, mail stuff around if you're either in the over there or Fronave in the towns. So that's really good. That's be awesome for the Kunark area for sure. And we'll go to July. Core Nav is going to be merged into Vox. September, I said this already, DirectX API port is going to come to the test server, so they're going to test it out there. And then December, there's going to be a new expansion. We don't know much about that yet. All right, so how am I going to grade these guys? So this is going to be a grade based on the direction of the game, and also what they've done so far this year, so far up to this point in, what's today, July something. So we got 4 different categories here. We got quality of life improvements. We got the new TLP server, the new UI engine, and also the devs and the CM leaving the company. How do I think they handled that? So quality of life improvement, they did okay here, but I want to see them just start stomping out quality of life improvements for everybody. Every single patch, there should be like 2 or 3 major quality of life improvements to the game. I want to see them cut out bloat and do stuff like that. Anything you can do that respects the player's time is going to be a big win. So the things that they've done for the quality of life improvements is the keys. There's more keys for Corfax Tower Discord raids, and also more keys in the Kunark raids. So that's really the biggest quality of life things I think they have in here. Cause of Vision being free. That's kind of something they do every year based on what expansion is out. So I mean, that's kind of good. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, the elemental damage to the weapons was a pretty good quality of life improvement too. But all in all, there's only like a few major quality of life improvements that affects a wide range of players. There might be some like smaller class specific things, but I'm talking about like a wide range. So overall, the changes they made were good. I'll probably just give them like a C on this. I want to see more of it. That's really my big concern. I don't think the ones they did were bad. I just want to see a lot more of it. They need to start stomping out these every single patch. I want to see 2 or 3 quality of life improvements. I want to see bloat being taken out of the game. I want to see AA consolidation, so stuff is easier to read, easier to find, and just stuff like that. All right, up next we have the new TLP server, Oakwind. The encounter locking system, I don't really care about it. If they move it to live, I think that would be really bad. Now, they did say they're going to move some system to live, but they never specifically said which system. If it works out, they're going to move it to live. So I don't know if they're talking about the character bonus experience or what exactly they're talking about. But if they move encounter locking to live, that will be a game breaker for me. I will probably completely stop playing Everquest if they move that to live. Now, if they just want to use it on like new TLP servers for the first couple of expansions, I could see a scenario where that works out because it is kind of toxic, early TLP servers. How much this alleviated the problem, I don't know, because I don't play over there. But the big thing to me is it's just not compelling enough for me to want to start a whole new group of characters to go play on this new server. I do like the server bonuses that come out over time, but I feel like they're coming too late. By the time the server's in Omens of War or later, it's going to be a mature server at that point, compared to whatever the new TLP next year might be. And I just won't have interested in playing it anymore. It's like too little too late for the bonuses. So I'll give them a C on this as well. I don't think they did. I don't think it like worked out horribly, but I don't think it's going to be like the best server ever either. I might even give them like a C minus, something like that. All right, moving on to the new UI engine. That was a big fail. I mean, everybody knows it's a big fail. I'm going to give them an F on that. It's still blurry. It still doesn't work. I don't know what their timetable is for moving the other windows over to this new engine, but they need to get this together. Like, if I were to make a guide and 80 to 90% of the people go to my guide and they're like having a bad time, well, no one's ever going to use my guides. And I think my guides are free. If this is a paid live service, you can't have the UI, the main inventory window, be blurry for months and then like there's no fix to it other than, hey, there's some workaround we built. You got to like go into these folders and do all this stuff. Like, no, you guys need to fix it on your end. I should be able to log in and the UI works just fine. Experienced players, obviously, they can go in there and fix it, but this is just like the base interface. Like, if it doesn't work, don't bring it to live. Wait till it works and then bring it to live and people will like it and it'll be a lot more well received. So I just got to give them an F on it because it's still an ongoing issue. Okay, so the devs and the community manager are leaving the company. I don't know if these guys got fired. I don't know if they got laid off. I don't know if they quit. I have no idea what happened. I have no information on that. All I know is I saw some posts on the forums. I saw a community manager left and he no longer has a forum account. Same with the two devs. I don't know what happened there. Now the two devs leaving, if you don't announce that to everybody, I kind of get that. That makes more sense because they kind of work more behind the scenes. You don't need to announce everything to the players. But the community manager in particular, if he leaves and there's no announcement or statement about it, you should generally tell the players like, hey, our community manager is no longer with the company. We're looking for a new one. We have our senior community manager who's going to be our liaison in the meantime. What's the timetable to get a new one? You should at least make a statement. That's all I'm saying. It's like, hey, community manager's gone. So how they handled that, I would have to give them a D on that as well. Well, again, I have no inside information here. So this is just from an outsider perspective. And I'll just give them a D on that. So overall, you know, they probably would get like maybe like a C minus or a D plus for this first half of the year. And this is just my grade for the last 6 months. Now they could maybe by the end of the year, they'll have the UI fixed. They'll have some new devs hired. They'll have some really good quality of life improvements coming out, and a really cool TLP, really cool expansion. This is not like my permanent grade for them forever. This is just how I feel about what they've done in the last 6 months. They could hopefully turn this around. I would love to see them turn it around, but right now it's kind of, I'm maybe a little bit biased here because I feel like the lack of stuff I want to see in the game is not really happening. So it's kind of burning me out too. So take it with a grain of salt, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.